everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Not So Jaded podcast. Thanks for coming on. Today is going to be a fun topic. I think it's a popular topic right now. Who is Pace Morby? Is Pace Morby legit? What is Subto? What are all these people claiming to be a part of this large community? Is everything legit? What's going on in there? I am going to break it all down today. So let's start with Subto. What is Subto? Subto is a community slash mentorship, and it's more community than it is mentorship. There is, of course, a million Zooms that go on in there. I'm talking about the schedule is packed every single week with things that, different stuff from call calibrations to attorney Zooms to underwriting Zooms to live calls. All the things you would need to be successful in real estate are there for you, as well as a course when you first purchase the mentorship in the community. There is a course that you get, but I would say that the Zooms that are bonus Zooms, they're not technically part of what you pay for. You're not required to receive them, but there are a million bonus Zooms that are so valuable. I mean, we have a Zoom vault, and there is, over $1 million worth of knowledge, I would say, in there. Anything from, breaking down your corporate structures, what that should look like, from what your taxes should look like, through what your partnership agreement should look like, all of the things that are not so much talked about on YouTube. On YouTube, I would say that things are pretty basic in terms of, what you need to do to be successful in real estate. Then once you start doing deals and you start creating a business, there are a lot more questions that come up, such as how should my taxes be structured? What LLC do I need? What does that look like? What do my partnerships look like? Who do I need on my team? How do I manage my assets? How do I find wrap buyers? All these detailed things that I don't think are as necessarily out there. And if it is out there, I don't know that I would trust the information. So that's part of what Subto is. The most valuable part of Subto is definitely the community. The community is, oh my gosh, I think, so I first joined Subto in, I want to say, March or April of last year, 2022. And there was around 3,500 people in the mentorship at that time. Now, year and a half later, however long it's been, we're now at almost 12,000 people, which is crazy. It's so much growth. And I think that alone speaks for itself. I think that a lot of people, I think there's a lot of second guessing out there when you're investing a large amount of money into something. I think there's a lot of mentorships, quote unquote, that have, just put a bad taste in people's mouth that maybe doesn't live up to the value that they say that they would live up to. And, people just feel like they get burned from these mentors and the mentorships, and they put, 20 grand into this mentorship that maybe it just doesn't live up to what it said it would. So, I can see the fear and the worry of investing in another mentorship, but I would say that Subto, the community itself, it does speak for itself. I have personally not met anyone in Subto that regrets joining Subto or has anything bad to say about Subto. I think that Subto really filters out a community of people that want to learn. they want to grow, they want friends in the space, they want to give back and share knowledge. So I think that, there's a thing called gatekeeping that can happen where you see these people being successful, you're wondering how they do it, and people don't want to share how they become successful. They don't want to share their tips and tricks and their little secrets they found out. They want everyone to go find out the hard way, and that is definitely not the energy in sub 2. Everybody wants to give back and everybody is happy to answer questions and is happy to help you with your deals, your questions, anything like that. It is truly the most go-giver community I've ever seen in my life. And, like I said, the growth from 3,500 to 12,000 people in a little over a year is pretty impressive. And I think that that says a lot about what goes on inside the community. So that's kind of the first part of, what I would define sub 2 being, mainly a community. Pace would say that himself, that he doesn't say that he has a mentorship, he has a community. It really does feel like, everyone just becomes friends in there really quickly. When we do live Zooms, everyone's just hanging out in the Zoom chats and, catching up with their friends. I've met a lot of great friends in Sub 2, and it definitely doesn't feel like a mentorship where you just take a class for a month, 2 months, whatever, and you're done with it and you move on with life. Sub 2 is truly a lifelong community that you are becoming a part of. And I think the most amazing thing about Sub 2 is that, not only are the students growing and changing and evolving, but so is Pace Morby, the creator of Sub 2. He is also evolving and changing and dabbling in different things now. And he doesn't keep the community just a Sub 2 mentorship, even though that's is what it's called. There are a lot of conversations that go on inside of Sub 2 that is not just about buying properties creatively. It's so in depth. It's almost hard to even explain how in depth it is without, showing somebody. But for an example, Pace, I think he maybe talks about it on his YouTube as well, but he purchases businesses also and has purchased vehicles creatively and all these other things that are not necessarily real estate. And whenever he dabbles into something like that, he brings that knowledge and the value and everything that he is learning through that journey back to the community. So, you might join. I definitely joined and thought, okay, I'm just going to learn how to buy houses creatively and that's it. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. There's everything from learning how to run a wholesale business to flipping houses to doing midterm rentals and short-term rentals and pad split and how do I buy a laundromat creatively and how do I sell my truck creatively. And there's just so much information and, so much more than Sub 2. It goes deep and beyond that. And that's the best part, in my opinion, is that this is a lifelong community that we all are continuing to change and evolve. And the information given in Sub 2 is doing the same thing. So I have nothing but great things to say about Sub 2. I think everyone that I've talked to has said this, that Sub 2 is a life-changing community in real estate, and entrepreneurship in and of itself can be really lonely. It can be a lot of work. It can be a lot of, going through the trenches, trying to figure this stuff out on your own. And when you can join a community of 12,000 people now that all come from different backgrounds. So, I mean, every different background you can think of, right? Teachers, lawyers, doctors, attorneys, title company reps, loan officers, construction workers, every single different background that there is someone in Subto that has that background. And it's so valuable, the knowledge that the community itself brings to the table. And so it's powerful when you can go to a community of people like this that have done every type of deal. They've have all these different backgrounds and know the ins and outs of stuff that you may not know. You don't have to go and figure all that stuff out yourself. You can go to the community and make a friend. If you have a question about how a title company does this, and that, make a post, message your friend, and you'll have that answer so quickly. You don't need to spin your wheels for hours, or you don't need to go and mess up a deal and lose on money to figure that question out. You can figure it out because someone else has already done that hard work to have that question answered for you. So that's the powerful thing in a community. And I know that there are communities that are free and may have, similar goals within that community, but I've been in the forums of those communities and there's definitely still a lot of gatekeeping. I think because it comes down to culture and trust. And a lot of times those free communities or Facebook groups or online blogs, whatever it is, they don't have that trust built with everyone in there. And it may not feel like a safe space. People may not feel open to giving out their secrets. And that's understandable. But when you join a community such as Subto, the vibe is totally different. Everyone, and not to say that there isn't a fault to this, but overall, I think it's a positive thing that everyone trusts each other. Everyone, Subto, the reps of Subto really do a good job at filtering people and making sure that people match the culture, match the vibes, match the goal of Subto. So when you join, there's so much trust. People are so welcoming. People are so ready to spill all their secrets and figure out how to make you successful. You can really feel that people do care about your success, and that can go a long way in real estate and entrepreneurship in itself because it's hard and you may not have friends that are on the same path or understand what you're trying to do, or you may not have family and you may really be a lone wolf that it's lonely, it's long days, it's trying to figure out questions to everything, and you can't figure out everything on your own, and you don't have anyone that you can trust, and you don't have anyone that you can call and say, hey, have you done this? How do I do this? And so that's just the plus of Subto, is everyone is such a family. Everyone is so ready to help. Anywhere you travel in the US, even outside of the US, but in the US specifically, anywhere you go, you're going to find a community of Subto members. It might be small, might be large, but you're going to find a community that you can say, hey, I'm in X town tonight. Who wants to hang out? And people are there to go hang out. There might be meetups going on. Like Subto is so big and people are constantly doing meetups and hanging out with each other that it's awesome. You become lifelong friends with these people. Hey, Abraham, thanks for hopping in here. So I hope that clarifies why Subto is so amazing, why it is growing at the rate that it is, why people find it so life-changing. There's people at all levels in Subto. There's people that are just starting. They don't know a single a single real estate term, and they're just now starting their journey and they join the community. And there's people that have been investing for 30 years and know all the ups and downs, and they've been a real estate agent and they've had rental properties for 30 years, and they know the game and they know the laws and they know the ins and outs and they know the do's and don'ts. So it really is just a playground for everyone, no matter what stage of your real estate journey that you're in. And it is just the most amazing community. I think if you follow anyone in Subto or you follow Pace on Instagram, you will see all the meetups that go on, all the Zooms that go on, all the um, just events in general that go on within Subto. And we had community camp this year, and community camp, everyone just got together in Montana and hung out for a couple days and went on the lake and went hiking and just hung out. I don't remember how many people there were, but I don't know, maybe 300 people or something, maybe more than that, but 300 to 400 people. And everyone was just hanging out and networking and getting to know each other and becoming even better friends and figuring out how to help each other elevate to that next level. And it's heartwarming. It really is heartwarming being in that community. So other than that, that is what Subto is. That's what goes down in Subto. That's why Subto is so meaningful and in my mind, the number one real estate community that there is. I think that Subto, everyone in Subto is changing the how real estate is done. There's 12,000 of us. A lot of us do direct to agent, right? And we're educating agents. So it's been traditional that all agents know, and a lot of all sellers and buyers know, is traditional real estate. I either use cash or I use a loan, and that's how I buy property. Well, there's so many Subto students now in every single state that realtors are getting educated. We had let me think, the Attorney General of, I think, Utah come in to a Zoom the other night, and now they're being educated about what creative finance is, what is Subto. And I think that with so many students everywhere calling on these agents, calling on these sellers, educating them, getting them to go through with creative transactions the right way, it is reshaping how real estate's done, especially when the market has done what it's done in the past few years, and a lot of sellers need creative finance. So it's helpful that you have all these people that are being properly educated. They have the proper contracts. They have been educated on how to conduct business in the right way. And they're out there educating these realtors and sellers. It is changing the space. And as Subto grows, I think that that's only going to continue, that we do change how real estate is done, and that we will be the leaders in the real estate investing world on how to correctly do these things and how to conduct business and all that good stuff. So super powerful. I'm super excited to see the future of Subto and the future of where things go. Other than that, I see a lot of things online and forums and all that about, is Pace Morby legit? I think it's one of those things that is almost sounds too good to be true, because you've never seen it before. You've never seen a community that has the heart of Subto and is a lifelong community. I think that this is the first one of its kind, and so it can be hard to believe and too good to be true type of thing. But Pace Morby is legit. I can 100% say that, being in Subto for over a year now. He is so legit. I think Pace is one of the most, he's just, to me, the cornerstone of being a go-giver and making people into leaders. He really cultivates that in Sub 2 on how to give back, how to step up and become a leader to others. It's to me, it's almost impossible to be in that community and be around Pace without becoming a leader and becoming a better person and wanting to go give back and wanting to help other people succeed in their businesses. I I truly feel like that it just naturally happens in the community and that community naturally attracts that. Pace goes above and beyond. I've never seen, I don't know if I ever will see anyone that goes as hard as he does for his purpose and for his vision. He had this plan for Sub 2 and all he has done is executed. He goes above and beyond. Most mentors, you charge a fee, you give them a course for, I don't know, 2 to 6 months and say, okay, cool, see you later, kicks you out of the community. Most people never end up doing anything with that because it does take time. Everyone's on their different paths in life and their different schedules, and it may take you longer than 6 months to figure it out. And I think that's the beauty of Sub 2, and the Pace has seen that you are in it for life because even if it takes you a year or two to figure out what you're doing and get your head on straight and figure out your strategy and figure out your vision, Sub 2 is still there for you. You don't get kicked out of it. And so I think that that's one thing that, Pace is amazing at is executing on these grand visions that no one else has. And, that is how Sub 2 was born. He's also just, a great teacher in general. He really knows how to teach anything that there is in the simplest form. And he's also someone that he forces you to take action. I don't think that you can be around Pace Morby without, or, be in his community, whatever it is, without going and taking action, without going and wanting to level up and wanting to change your life and wanting to make your business grow and make yourself grow. So the short answer is he's very legit. The long answer is I think that he is the best real estate mentor, if not mentor in general right now, just for not that Pace is necessarily a mindset mentor by any means, but he does make you expand your mindset a lot. I don't know that I've ever been on a Zoom where my mindset hasn't expanded in some way, listening to him talk about the way his mindset has expanded. I think that it's easy to think people like that and people at his, level just naturally get there and don't have mindset issues or anything that they are personally working through, but that's just not true. They've all had these mindset issues. They've all gone through the trenches in their own way. And I think the cool thing about investing in yourself and investing in a mentor is you do get to learn those lessons a little bit earlier, assuming that you are open and ready for those lessons. You can, hear these mentors talk about their mindset shifts, and it can really be game changer if you are really listening and taking that in. And you don't have to wait 10 years to have that mindset shift. You can have it right now because you have someone that has already gone and done the work for you and has brought that back to the table. So I hope that is helpful for everyone. I hope that was a little insightful. I think that a lot of people debate on joining Sub 2 and debate, is it really worth it? My answer is it is 1,000% worth it. I think that mentorship is way too cheap. It does seem way too good to be true, but it is 100% true. Most insane thing I've ever seen. And, there's just so many bonuses on bonuses that it's just hard to even value. I can't even put it into words how amazing the things are that go down in there. And so It's 100% worth it. Pace Morby is 100% legit. If anyone ever has any questions about joining Subto, any questions on, is this the right fit for you? I guess I could talk about that for a little bit. Is Subto the right fit for you? I think if you have cash to invest in yourself, and you know that real estate is what you want to do, entrepreneurship is what you want to do. You do want to own property, or you want a wholesale business, you want to flip houses, whatever it is. I think that Subto is the place to invest. That is truly my opinion, no matter if it is the flipping or the wholesaling or the long-term rentals. I think that you can learn everything you need to learn in Subto, and especially I will say that you need to spend the time and you need to really engage in the community. If you don't engage in the community, that's where you're going to see maybe a lack of value, because you're not taking action and engaging in what's going on, whether that be the meetups, the power hours, the call calibrations, the weekly family night Zooms, the Facebook post. If you're not engaging, then you are not going to get the value out of it that you see everyone get. So that is something to consider. You need to be ready to engage. You need to be ready to take action. Just because you join a mentorship doesn't mean that you're going to be a millionaire next month. You have to take what you're learning in that mentorship and take those relationships and go put it to work. The good thing about it is you can shorten your learning curve, but it's not going to do the work for you. So you need to, have a clear vision on what you want. You need to be ready to put in the work. And if that fits the bill, I would say Subto is the best mentorship choice. I think you're going to grow in so many ways possible. You're going to make the best connections in Subto. You're going to, even if you're interested in investing in businesses or, being a TC, any of those things, all of that fits in the category of Subto, which I just think is like hidden. It's almost hidden knowledge, because I don't think that that's promoted whenever Subto the mentorship is promoted. But once you get inside, you're like, holy moly, there's so much going on in here and so much I can do and so much information. You're not even going to know what to do with yourself. It's insane. But anyways, if you're ready to take action, if you know that real estate's for you, no matter what side of real estate that is, and I do think Subto would be a great option. If you have any other questions or want any more insight, you can always DM me. I can give you, I guess I can, oh no, I don't know if I pulled it up. It's in my Instagram bio. If you click in the link in my Instagram bio, there is a link to join Subto. You can also DM me for it. And I'll also put it in here if I can pull it up. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, I hope this was helpful. See a lot of stuff going on. People questioning Subto, people questioning Pace Morby. Is it all legit? Is it all worth it? So I figured this would be a good opportunity to come on and give my little spiel about everything. That is a link that'll lead you to the sign up page for Subto. You can fill it out. You can put my name in there. Let me know if you have any questions, if you need any additional insight. And if you do end up joining Subto, please send me a message and let me know. Would love to connect with you and help you on your journey within Subto. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will be going live again on Tuesday. I don't know the date off the top of my head. But I will be going live on Tuesday, making some live calls. Ooh, I like this question. If it wasn't for Subto, what do you think you'd be doing right now? I would probably be I would probably be struggling, to be honest. I think that I don't know. There's a chance that I would still be trying to be a real estate agent full time and just trying to buy a property here and there type thing. Or I would be trying to, wholesale and find these deals and buy off market properties. But I would really be struggling. I would. It's so hard. I mean, I've done it before. I've closed wholesale deals by myself. I've done the driving for dollars. I've written the letters. I've done the text campaigns, all that. And I can do it. You can do it on your own, but it's so much harder. It's so much harder. You have a lot less knowledge, a lot less help, a lot less resources, a lot of questions that you can't get answered, a lot of spending your time in inefficient ways. And Sub 2 has changed that entirely, right? Like now I am a part of a team and get so many more deals done than I could on my own. And, you're creating those relationships and those partnerships that can help you do more deals efficiently, which is a game changer. Not to say you can't find a team when you're not in Sub 2, but I do think that the culture and the family vibe of Sub 2 just elevates any team that you would find. So, yeah, I'd probably be flailing around trying to figure out stuff on my own still. And, um, did you become an agent before or after? I was an agent before, so I started in real estate. Let me think of timelines here. I started in real estate 3 years before joining Sub 2. So I started off wholesaling. I did wholesale on my own, just figuring it out on using random contracts and watching YouTube videos and just figuring it out. Didn't have anyone to ask questions to, just cross my fingers and hope I did it right. And I mean, it worked. And then I got my license and I worked as a full time agent for a while. I also worked as, I guess, part time for a while because I worked at a mortgage company. And I decided to jump into Sub 2 because once I got my license, I had it in my head like, oh, I'm going to be a full time agent. This is going to be my career. Well, I quickly learned that being an agent, it's a full time job. You're not building wealth. You're not creating your own schedule like they like to tell you. You're working on your client schedule. You're working around the clock if you want to be successful. And it's rough. I mean, I think it's a lot rougher than people are even close to thinking it is, just all behind the scenes that has to happen. So, anyway, I did it for a while. I did good. And it got to a point I was working as a loan officer, and I was like, I have always been in love with the investment side. I want to build wealth. I don't want to be an agent forever. I actually resonate and have way more energy on the investing side of things. And like, I need to get back into this. I need to start wholesaling again. I need to buy another rental property. And so I think I started YouTubing again, just watching, who's in the investment space, and came across Pace. And interest rates were already going up at the time. And I'm like, you know what, creative, I can see this changing the game. I can see this being an amazing tool in the tool belt. Creative is not the only way to buy properties, but it is a tool in the tool belt. The more tools you have, the better you can do with every opportunity that comes across your plate, right? So I saw the value in it pretty quickly. I was hesitant to join Sub 2. It's an investment and it can be nerve-wracking. Like, am I just going to be throwing all this money away and it's not worth it? But I said, you know what? I'm ready for change. I need to get back on track. And so I joined, and it took me a while to really get in the mode of things. There is so much going on in there. And I was really busy as a real estate agent at that time, and I had a W-2 as well. So my time was limited, but I I would say my number one mistake when I joined Subto was not being interactive, not being very interactive at all. Getting in Zooms, not commenting, not showing my face, not interacting with anyone on Facebook, not interacting, just liking posts, never commenting, never, being nervous to reach out to people, that type of thing. So I do regret that. I wish I would have done that a lot sooner. But that is the beauty in Subto is that, yeah, it took me a couple months to figure myself out and figure out how to operate in there. So if that mentorship would have been over at that point, then I would have been pretty much screwed. But luckily it wasn't over. And I said, you know what, I need to be more active. I figured out everything I needed to do in there. And once I started doing that, it really was game changer. That's when I started, making really good relationships and partnerships and learning more and feeling more connected to the community. And I was interacting in Zooms and, joined a team, started doing a lot more deals. And now I do I do a lot more wholesale side of things, investing side of things than I do real estate agent. I still act as a real estate agent. I still have clients that I work with as they come, as I'm needed, but I'm not actively marketing as a real estate agent. I am marketing as an investor, and it really is where my heart lies. So, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. You kind of put me on a ramble there, but any more questions before we hop off here? Is anyone thinking about joining Subto? Is there something you really want to know before you join Subto? Let me know. Is there something holding you back from joining Subto? I want to talk about it. I think that if you want to be successful, you have to invest in yourself, and Subto is one of the best places to invest in yourself. Do I get a lot of calls from wholesalers about your listing off-market properties? I don't act as an agent a lot, and even when I was a really active agent, I was more so active on the buyer side. I had a lot of buyers and only a few listings. That just wasn't my niche, I guess. I just had a lot more people that wanted to buy than sellers. So yeah, I don't personally actually get a lot of calls. I've had a few here and there. I've actually had people that are in Subto that have called me before, and that's always a funny conversation. But yeah, anyway, so that's all things Subto, all things Pace Morby. Highly, highly, highly recommend Subto. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, anything you want to know, please DM me. My name right here is on the screen. Anytime, let me know how I can help. And on Tuesday, I will be going live, making some calls again to agents. And Abraham, I know that you had mentioned in the last one to maybe for me to call some that were not creative deals. So I may try to do that. I'll think about what list. I'll probably do some initial calls next week. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming on. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.